Curry and the Warriors. Dillon the villain and the Suns in action in this one. We're going to pick this one up, Perk, early in the third quarter. Steph Curry driving past Dillon Brooks, finding Jimmy Butler for the nice dunk.
Jimmy Butler finally picked it up. He had been struggling over his last few games with a great dime, but that's the guy right there, Dillon Brooks.
Putting some muscle in his hustle. He had 24 points here. Under a minute left in the fourth. Draymond to Curry.
Swing.
Makes the three, contested by Brooks. Bounces out, though, and then Curry's on the ground here in pain. After contesting the three, you look at Brooks. His arm hits Curry on the chest, and the refs issue
A little excessive.
foul.
A little excessive.
Yeah, so following the two made flagrant free throws, Butler gets the ball on the perimeter and then drains it again. Again, it's over Brooks. So this is a successful 5-point swing here for the Golden State Warriors. But this is the next play coming up here. Booker gets the inbounds pass. He works his way in. Smooth like butter. Hits that jumper. He had 25 points in this game. And then the next Suns possession here with the game all tied at 98. Brooks has the ball, top, shoots the three. Can't quite get that to go. Jordan Goodwin gets the rebound, and he's fouled on that putback attempt. So just a massive defensive mistake there for the Golden State Warriors. He knocks down the second one after missing the first. The Warriors, they have to throw it full court. They have no other choice with 0.4 seconds left on the clock here. Can't quite get the touchdown to go, so the Suns escape with a 99-98 win here. And the Golden State Warriors, they fall to 13-15 on the season here, Ramona. So could we see some changes being made?
Yeah, they got to do something because the season's getting away from them. You know, they feel like they get Steph back. He's healthy. They can change the offense when Jimmy's out there running the offense. But in this game, this was just about turnovers. I mean, they had a big lead in this game and then just got real sloppy with the ball. And I think they understand. You know, you can't give up 30 points off turnovers in a game, and that is correctable. But this team is going in the wrong direction. This is a game they should have won. They were up most of the time. Devin Booker had a horrible shooting night in the first half. Kind of got it together, and I think they are getting to the point in the season where we got to look at that.
There's frustration across the board with the Warriors. Joe Lacob, obviously, with the ownership, front office, coaches, players, because internally my understanding is the Warriors projected this team to win 50 or more games this season. They felt like the big three of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler was enough to propel this team. But what we've seen is underperformances across the roster, inconsistencies with roles. Steve Kerr's been very public about the fact that he's had issues with the non-Steph Curry minutes, specifically running the offense through Jimmy Butler. That's been a massive issue for the Warriors. And Jonathan Kuminga has basically been banished over the last week of this season. He's been out of the rotation, and the relationship is exactly where it was in the summer. This is a divorce waiting to happen. The essence of it. And January 15th is going to be a big date, not only for the Warriors, but the NBA, but specifically the Warriors, because that's when Jonathan Kuminga is eligible to be traded.
And I hate to hear that, because it seemed like at the beginning of the season there was a specific effort being made here by the Golden State Warriors and really from Jonathan Kuminga.
We were there that opening night.
Exactly.
Remember, every veteran was talking him up.
Starting in the lineup. They started in the first 3-4 games
and
of the
really
season.
taking that role on. So the Golden State Warriors, they have a little bit of work to do here. But Perk, I know that as much chatting as he does, you have been impressed by the Phoenix Suns and Dillon the villain.
You're damn right. No one expected the Phoenix Suns to be where they are. I believe they're in the 7th spot right now, and it's because Dillon the villain, Dillon Brooks, who has become one of my favorite players in the NBA. And this guy just winning follows this man. Memphis hasn't been the same since he left. We watched him last year help develop that culture with the Houston Rockets, and now he's bringing something that the Phoenix Suns hadn't had since they got rid of CP3, and that's leadership, right? He leads in his own type of way, but that tenacity, that force, people are tuning, and Devin Booker is the best player for context, because once if it get clipped off, I don't want people to get to tripping. But I'm actually looking for Phoenix Suns games when they on to watch to see who they play because of Dillon Brooks.
They win so many of those games where it's like they're down and then Dillon just starts creating chaos.
And he was on the show, and we asked him whether or not he likes an overtimes last night. And we're going to get to all of that. But today's show is a special one because we have the honor of announcing the nominees for the 2026 Naismith Hall of Fame class. So without further ado, here are the women's basketball nominees, tipping it off with Candace Parker. She's, of course, a 2-time WMVP, 3-time champion, and a 10-time All-WNBA performer. She also won a gold medal for Team USA in 2008 and 2012, and, of course, a pair of NCAA titles. And then there's 2-time WNBA MVP Elena Delle Donne, who took home MVP honors in 2015 with Chicago, 2019 with Washington, also led the Mystics to a WNBA championship. And then then there is the 1996 U.S. Women's Olympic team led by Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops. That team beat other teams by almost 29 points a game on the way to a gold medal and helped usher in the WNBA the following year. So let's just take a look here. This is the full list, my friends, of the women's nominees. There's also Shamiqua Holdsclaw, you see there, 6-time WNBA All-Star.
How is she not in already?
Also won 3 NCAA titles, Ramona, at Tennessee. And then there's Tisha Penicheiro, 4-time WNBA All-Star, 2005 champ, who was the assist champ. Get this, guys, 7 different times.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulations to all of the nominees here. Shams Charania, Kendrick Perkins, Ramona Shelburne. Ramona, you covered Candace closely here. This is a well-deserved first-time nominee.
Yeah, I remember when she came to Los Angeles, right out of Tennessee, right? And she was #1 pick by the Sparks, Rookie of the Year, her rookie year. And then MVP, her first year in the league.
Which is
then at age 22, she gets pregnant. And I remember talking about her at the time, and then afterwards she goes, I knew people were like, wow, your career's going to be in jeopardy now because you got pregnant right after you've been the face of the league. You're there. And she said, you know what? The people that really know me, they know my career is not in jeopardy at all. But that was very interesting watching her go through that and then getting to know her as a woman, because her career was definitely not over, Malika. She won 2 titles after that, Olympic gold medals after that. She's killing it on the broadcast space. And so I think Candace Parker is an icon in women's basketball, but just in women's sport and all of sports.
A legend. And I just remember tuning in to women's college basketball just to watch Candace Parker and make sure that you was gonna catch her dunking. I think when you think of women dunking, you think of Candace Parker. Like, she brought that to life.
And shout out, she's a Chicago girl.
There you are.
Okay?
There, Chicago,
She's so big time. Her brother Anthony Parker, who was a longtime NBA player, now he's general manager of the Orlando Magic. He loves how he's just looked at like he's an afterthought because of how big time Candace Parker is. I know he's watching right now. He's excited.
He won't mind you saying that either.
He won't mind it. He loves it. He has so much love for his sister.
Yeah, it's a high compliment. And Candace, my friend, congratulations. And we will continue to unveil the 2026 Hall of Fame nominations throughout the course of the show. But we have some news out of the W to get to, because the Houston Rockets ownership brass, they are in substantive talks here with the Connecticut Sun over the potential purchase and relocation of the W franchise. Now, remember the Sun, they've played in Connecticut since 2003, while Houston, of course, one of the 8 original WNBA franchises, and they've been without a team since 2009. So this story has Kendrick Perkins' attention, Alexa Philippou. Where does this offer stand here?
Yeah, Malika, well, I will say it does seem like there's a lot of momentum in this direction that we could potentially, barring some unforeseen changes, see a deal done within the next few weeks. I would say maybe at the beginning of the new year. And it seems like the WNBA, the league, this is actually not something they would just not only be supportive of, but this might have actually been their preference all along for the Sun to end up back in Houston. If you remember, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, actually said at the press conference announcing the 3 new expansion teams in June that Houston was, quote, the one we have our eyes on, the one that's up next. She specifically called out the Rockets owner, Tillman Fertitta. So even though that this is still kind of in the works and there's not necessarily a deal signed right now, it is important to know that the Sun have already committed to having their 2026 season held here at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, right, an hour away from me, right here in the basketball capital of the world, as they say. But it might not be much longer as we see the Sun potentially on the move.
I feel like we need to bring in Director Matt. Can you just please show Kendrick Perkins' face here real quick? I think Kendrick Perkins speaks for all of Houston now.
Don't threaten us with a good time. You don't understand what the Houston Comets meant to the city. Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, what they was doing, they had the place on fire. You mean it's...
You mean to tell you as soon as 2027, this could be happening, Perk. Another story, though, that we're tracking out of the W that I want to make sure that we get to happened yesterday, right? The WNBPA Executive Committee, they authorized a, quote, strike when necessary here. So what that means, the union, 98% of the players voted, they said, and voted yes, rather, and 93% of players total participated in the vote. Again, this is according to the union. And Alexa, you just got off the phone with the president of the WNBPA. What exactly was said in this conversation?
Yeah, this was the first time I've seen at least Nneka Ogwumike speak on the record since that historic vote yesterday. She said that while this was a authorization to have a, potentially consider a strike, that does not necessarily mean that they want to strike, that they are going to strike right now. They do still want to play the 2026 WNBA season, Nneka told me. But she said that this is something in their arsenal that if they don't feel like conversations have progressed, particularly heading into that January 9th deadline, that this is something that they could pursue if they see fit. They right now still do not feel like the league's revenue share model is adequate to what they're looking for. They feel like there has not been enough collaboration and cohesion across the table. That's what Nneka Ogwumike told me. And so they're hoping that things progress. But again, that does not mean that anything necessarily will happen in terms of a work stoppage, but they also have been preparing for that possibility. And so if that's what they seem fit, they say be prepared.
But very important to note here that what Nneka is saying that the players want is to play in this upcoming 2026 season. They just would like to close the gap. Alexa, thank you very much for your insight and for your excellent sweater choice today. On Fridays, we wear pink. Hey, from the W to the NBA, Steph nickname, and he said, yeah, plus it rhymes. So